Holy shit! We just watched... Oh, this is my cousin Boyd. We watched the first episode of Tokyo ESP, the first episode of Invasion of the... Yes. and the second episode of Locodols. So, starting with Tokyo ESP, what were your thoughts?
It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a little weird at times. It was a little...
kind of a clusterfuck.
Yeah, but because that was only because it felt like they literally took like an action scene from a movie and turned it into like an episode.
Right.
That's the only reason why I kind of felt a little disjointing.
Yeah. What did you think of, you were comparing it to...
X-Men. Very reminiscent of X-Men.
And, I mean, it's easy to say that anytime you've got a show where there's, like, characters who all have their own superpower and they're sort of discriminated against. It's easy to compare it, but when you have a show where the powers are, like, the exact same... Because the one girl has Nightcrawler's power.
Yeah.
And then there was a dude who had, like, literally a Juggernaut suit. He was the Juggernaut.
It's hard to not compare it to the X-Men.
And the one dude's Magneto, as you said.
Yeah, he's pretty much... I'm assuming he's the one who is, like, you know, controlling or, like, lifting, you know, the diet.
And so there's clearly, like, a X-Men comic book influence on this. First episode is almost all action, but here's the part that tripped me out. Boyd has never seen it, but I have seen the first 2 episodes of Gare Zero, and nowhere when I read about this show, which I didn't read much about it, but nowhere have I seen it indicated, other than when people talk about the manga, that this is in fact a prequel to Gare Zero, or at least takes place in the same universe, or just does like a weird, like how comic books use the same characters in multiple stories.
Right.
Whatever the case is, the characters from Gare Zero are in this. And the first one who showed up is Yomi, the girl with the sword, like at the beginning of the episode. She didn't do anything. She was just there.
Right.
And I was like, that looks just like the girl from Gare Zero. And then the dude showed up in the orange jumpsuit, and I was like, they wear those in Gare Zero. And then the other girl showed up on the motorcycle, and I was like, oh, it's them. Yep. It's actually the same characters. Took me a while to catch on, but yeah, this show, if you've seen Gare Zero, this show takes place in the same universe, has the same atmosphere, the same, like, how the first episode of that show was just a big action scene. This one was an even bigger action scene. Lots of gore that didn't get censored.
Yeah, I know.
That was nice.
People getting stabbed left and right.
This is a show where we had a lot of, oh shit moments.
Yeah, I would say.
I would say the directing of the action is a little lackluster, where sometimes, like...
Well, it just seemed like certain points were just like kind of confusing, because they would like have an action scene, then cut to like
someone else.
Yeah, someone else
elsewhere just blowing something up.
Like they didn't like I felt like they didn't like properly introduce like the two, I guess,
the
like
glasses kids are lame.
Yeah,
I thought they were lame.
Well, it's just like there was no like setup to like to an introduction at all with them. So
it felt like the part where they have the stupid fucking, they just like pick up a pipe wrench and like a thing banging against the shield, like as long as we believe we'll do it, and then someone else comes and like, and I was like, why did that need to be there? That was fucking stupid.
It was kind of annoying. But other than that, yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch more.
If you're into, comic
powers
books,
and violence,
yeah, comic books, X-Men.
That ending theme, though.
Yeah, the ending theme was pretty awesome.
It was like a full-on, like, almost black metal song, but with J-pop vocals.
It was almost kind of baby metalish, so.
Yeah, a little baby metalish. Baby metal's better produced, though.
Well, yeah.
But it did have some, like, legit blast beats at the beginning. I was like, whoa.
Kind of threw you off guard, considering, like, throughout the entire, like, episode, it was all, like, very, like, orchestrate, like, music.
Right, and then this, like, fucking intense-ass blast beat kicks in with, like, orchestral vocals. Not orchestral, is that the word?
Symphonic vocals.
I guess that works.
Or
symphonic
choir
vocals. Yeah, a chorus over a blast beat. Anyway, enough about Tokyo ESP. We also watched Invasion of the blah 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 blah. What did you think of that? You were like, when is this gonna end? It's going on forever.
It felt like it was taking forever.
Mercilessly long.
Like because I haven't seen a lot of harem shows, and then
it was classic, because this show, okay, it's a harem show. It's like as cliche and generic of a harem show as you can get. The concept and you don't realize the concept at first, but then it starts to become apparent throughout the episode that the main character has moved into this room that and we were suspicious too because he said it's only 5,000 yen a month, which is like $50.
Yeah.
So we were like, whoa.
Even his friend was like, wow, how'd you get that from like 5,000 yen?
Right. And then but it turns out that the room is haunted by a ghost. So that's the twist.
Well, no, the thing, I thought it was just going to be like, oh, they're quirky adventures with,
we thought it was going to be
other.
the guy and his ghost, and then it turns out, no, it's the guy and every other creature in the fucking universe who wants his room.
Aliens.
So first it's him and the ghost arguing, and then it's like a magical girl shows up. I don't remember why she wanted the room.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
And then, like, a shrine priestess from under the earth comes up through his floorboards, and then an alien from another dimension shows up, and they all want his room for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't think they even explained why they want his room.
They probably did, but we were too busy going, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
But, so it's a harem show. The funniest thing to me, because the problem with this show is that it's not funny.
Yeah.
And it's a good comedy setup, really.
Yeah.
Everyone fighting over one room. They're all these wacky, out-of-world things. It reminded me a lot of Kore wa Zombie Desu Ka, which is a funny show where it has, like, every fucking trope in it. But this show's not funny. The hardest I laughed was when, like, the 5th girl showed up, and Boyd goes, oh, is this like one of those Tenchi Muyo things? And I was like, you mean a harem show?
Because I couldn't think of the name at the time.
Like, at the beginning of the show, they fight, like, he moves into the apartment, and he had a landlord, and the landlord was adorable, and he says, oh, the landlord's my age, and I said, oh, it's a harem show. Like, they didn't even introduce 2 girls, and I'm already like, oh, it's a harem show, and he figures out, like, 6 girls later.
Yeah.
I was like, you didn't guess after at least the 3rd, when they just keep introducing more girls?
I'm just like, oh, this girl's being introduced, and then this girl. I was just like, oh.
Okay, reminder, you probably forgot this. There was also the shy girl at school.
Yeah.
She doesn't even have anything to do with the room and all that shit. How many girls... Like, she's not even relevant. So you've got the landlord, the random shy girl at school who never gets brought up again.
Yeah.
And her scene is completely fucking boring, so I don't know why.
Yeah, like...
That was like the whole first... But, okay, the one thing that did stand out, not all the girls and everything, but that the main character is weirdly interesting in terms of what he does.
I know, like, he's in knitting, he does, what he's like sitting in some archaeology class.
Right.
Like,
the show starts off and it's like, okay, he's moved away from home to, like, for his dad's sake, to move into, like, a cheap apartment to make it easier on his family, right? And then he was at an archaeological dig, and we're not sure why. It was like he went to school, but it wasn't. He was on an... And what happened when he fell into that pit and the lady, like, with the powers and shit? And you said it was like Zelda?
He got transported to Hyrule at that point.
Yes, into the Seven Sages scene from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
But then, so he falls. Okay, he does an archaeology dig, and then they're at school, and he's in a knitting club, and the guy he says, oh, he used to do baseball. Yeah. And I was just like, this kid does everything. He's the most interesting high schooler in the world.
A very busy kid.
Trapped inside such a... Like, it's... The show just kept throwing things at you, man. Yeah. It's like, this kid is involved in 9 different things. He has 8 different women from every fucking cliche. But
despite all this shit that was going on, it felt just very boring. It felt boring and bland.
Okay, it takes, like, spectacularly bad writing to make this much...
Like, you have
this many things be boring.
But, like, that's the thing. If you're introducing so much, so you got so much to work with, but yet it's so... bland.
Right.
I was just like,
it was dry and weak and awful, and I hated it, and I dropped it.
The only reason I'm giving this another episode
is because you give everything another episode.
Well, not just that, but I thought the girls were kind of cute. So
I did not think the girls were very cute because I thought the animation was kind of like there was too. It's obviously like low budget, you know? It looks pretty low budget.
But I'm gonna give it another episode,
the odd thing
and
is,
then I'll probably.
I know it's done by Silverlink Studio, and I think it's being directed by Shin Onuma, and he usually does like way more interesting visuals. I don't know if it's him doing it though, so don't quote me on that. But if it is, then I'm really disappointed in him because he usually adds like he's the guy who directed F, A Tale of Memories.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What?
If it's him, don't quote me again. I could be thinking of the other show that hasn't come out yet. Other than that, we also watched episode 2 of Locodols.
And that was way more fun.
Yes.
And didn't have nearly as much going on.
Right. There's nothing going on. It's still adorable and fun. There's like... It's funny because the opening theme showed like all these other characters and we still have not met any of them yet.
Right.
It's like just the two girls. The blonde girl is just perfect.
Super, super, super cute.
Oh my god, just bury your face. You're a girl. Anyway, the blonde girl is awesome. She's like her only flaw is being too perfect.
Yeah.
Most people would say she's a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
She's rich, she's beautiful, she has huge tits, she looks amazing in glasses.
Yeah.
She's incredibly nice, incredibly good person, really smart. She has everything going for her. And my reaction to that is, all right. That's who, like, why would I not find that, like, oh yes, I want to be friends with her.
Right?
I'd marry her in a heartbeat. She's awesome. She's perfect. It's a boring character. No, it's not. I wish I met someone like this. Is escapist fantasy, okay?
Right.
I can have a character who's absolutely perfect in every way.
Completely courteous
she learns
to everything.
Fast. She's like just
dude,
brilliant.
like yeah, because there's a moment where they need to like read off of something, and she just memorized the entire thing.
She's just for the sake of a friend coming over to visit. She like learned how to bake. Picked out special outfits, bought a bunch of movies just in case she would want to watch.
Who wouldn't want a friend like that? And it wasn't just a couple movies; it was a fucking closet full of movies. It was insane, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
She's perfect, and she might be gay.
Yeah,
heavy Yuri implications.
Strong implications.
There's a moment because they kind of offset it because at the one point she discovers the Yuri manga and she's like, oh, is this what she's into? And then later she says, oh, I was preparing myself for if you had any kind of other interests.
Yeah.
But then at the same time after that, they make it look like she's probably in love with her. So I think the blonde girl is probably in love with her. In which case I say to the brown-haired girl, how could you not?
Exactly.
She's perfect.
Exactly.
She's perfect. That's the heartbreak they want us to feel.
I know.
It's when she's just like, oh, but I'm just not interested in women. And we'll be like...
On a scale from 1 to 10, I'd give her 11.
And of course, the main character girl is fun too.
Yeah,
and she's adorable.
Like, that's the thing.
The scene where she's eating the food is adorable.
I know. Like that is the reason why I like this show is the chemistry between the two of them.
Right, they have a good chemistry together.
It is very good.
And I never get tired of poor jokes.
Yeah.
Like, we are so broke we can't afford to do anything.
Yeah.
I feel like I enjoy them from like a place of comfort of like I've been there but I'm not there.
Right.
You know, like so I can go, haha, I remember what it's like to be like
well, I'm not the wealthiest man,
poor.
but I still think those are funny,
right.
So
well, I mean you're more of a I am there, like it's funny, relatable
Right.
funny. For me it's like it's relatable, but I can go, whew.
Right.
At least I'm not broke like that anymore.
But yeah, I would say definitely so far in this season, top 5, probably top 3.
Of Locodols is?
Yeah.
You haven't seen Zenko no Terror yet.
Well, I having not watched that yet. I already put it at number 1. Not even.
Have you seen Nozaki-kun yet?
Nozaki-kun.
The manga artist one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's still my number 1. Like Zenko no Terror is amazing, but I have no idea where it's going yet.
Right.
You know, like it doesn't give you enough information to be like, oh, this is gonna be my favorite show.
Yeah,
it's just so technically impressive. It's like
dude,
a Galnerius song in terms of technicality, like technical stress.
I think this is what happens when you give pretty much any kind of resource.
But that's the thing.
To
Here's the question is, will it be like Galnerius or will it be like Dream Theater? Where it's really technical, but then it turns out to be shitty. Somehow.
There's like no emotion.
That's
there's no emotion to it.
There's definitely some emotion to the first episode, but at the same time, like it doesn't like. Whereas Nozaki-kun is like sheer heartwarming.
Well,
like,
considering
feels good.
You know, Galnerius is Japanese and Shinichiro Watanabe is Japanese.
But Shinichiro Watanabe is also a huge Westaboo.
True.
Have you heard that term, Westaboo?
No, I haven't.
I think I don't know if he made it up, but Jesse Wood uses it all the time to describe the the guy who makes Metal Gear Solid.
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, Hideo Kojima, a Westaboo, someone who's a Japanese person who's a huge fan of the West.
Well, yeah.
And Shinichiro Watanabe is definitely one of those.
Yeah.
Quoted as saying he preferred Cowboy Bebop dubbed.
I did not know that.
Yes.
But that's interesting. But that is not a bad thing because I thought the dub was...
It's probably the best anime dub ever made. Like, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. We're off topic. That's the end of this video. I think that was like the last show. Like there's only one more that's coming out, and I'm not interested in it. So that was it. We've covered all the first episodes.
Well, I still need to catch up on some shows, but yeah. Other than that, yeah.
Pretty good season. Pretty damn good.
Thus far, and a lot of the show, yeah.
Just do an outro. Just say whatever.
And a lot of the shows I've noticed are only about 12 episodes, so.
You won't have to watch them for 9 years.
Exactly. They're not going to go on for like 4 seasons. So yeah, pretty good.